Hello and welcome back to Kev's Vintage Tractor Repair channel. Apologies, it's been a bit of a while since we've posted a video. It's just I've been really busy with all the other customers' tractors, getting them all out. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to be moving the front sprocket and pistons. So I hope you enjoy. Hello, welcome back to Kev's Vintage Tractor Repair channel. So in today's episode, what we're going to be doing is removing the front timing chain and camshaft sprocket, rear crankshaft oil seal, and then what we're going to do is take the pistons out. Okay, so that's what we're going to do in this episode. Timing chain and our camshaft sprocket and crankshaft sprocket. So the first thing I'm going to do, okay, from the last episode, we put our timing marks on so we can got those to follow, and we've obviously taken pictures. So what we're going to do is remove the timing chain, undo these. I have marked the end of the camshaft onto the sprocket, so I can more or less get it into the correct place, obviously once it's all being put back together. So first of all, I'm going to undo these 1/2 inch head bolts. Well, this height. Right, it comes. Give it a wiggle, and off it comes. Pretty much can only go one way. We've got a deep side on there, sort of around that edge where it obviously sits on this sort of the hub, I would guess. That's that. I'll just lay it there. I'm not going to pull the camshaft out at the minute because we've got to sort out where the pump timing is. But I'm going to remove in the next episode the crankshaft. And these crankshafts on the 20C and 23C engines, the Fergusons, have to get drawn out the back of the engine where the flywheel is attached. Some of these other tractors I've got in here, you'd undo the main caps along here and it would drop out of the bottom. Alright, so these are a little bit awkward to work on. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go with the other side, alright, and I'll show you the rear crank seal, how to take that one off as well. Here we are on the back of the engine. I did mark the oil seal carrier to a mark up here because there's 2 gaskets got to go on here just so we can get it in the right. We're not going to nip and crush any gaskets. So I'm going to undo all these. Two things on the back. We've got a core plug here, which is the back of the camshaft. Okay, and we've got this here, this plug here, which is when they were drilling the block where the oil ways are, obviously where the oil passes through. There's a few little bits on the back, and obviously another core plug on the coolant side of the engine block. But I'm going to pull all those out and put new ones. So let's see if we can get this out. I'll try it. There we go. So, and then off it comes. So this is the rear crankshaft seal, which obviously runs on this surface here. Now I can feel through my gloves there's a little ridge in there, so we know it's got hard and worn. Also this seal is gone really hard. There's all little hairline cracks. That will be replaced, and as I'm pulling around you can hear it crack. Somebody has been in here before. They didn't have a gasket, so what they've done, they've smeared black silicone sealant all around here again. So which obviously doesn't do a lot of good. There's a big piece here. Let's see if I can hook that out. Like I was saying, all this can go in the engine and clog it up. That's that off. So we're just going to come round to the back now. Okay, so we're now at the bottom of the engine. Obviously this is where the sump went. This is where the strainer basket comes through the sump and goes onto here. The pickup, which obviously goes around to the pump at the front and then goes around the engine. If I can just turn it slightly. Okay. So, what have we got in here? These are our caps to our conrods. We've got these bolts in here and lock tabs on there to hold it. Somebody's been in here before, you can tell. These ones are bent over. That one is nearly bent, and the one on the back there isn't even rounded at all. Number 4 cylinder and number 1. And number 1 hasn't even got one on it. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to get my air gun, my gun, and then I'm just going to quickly sort of pull those off and knock them out the front of the engine. So you can buy these new, all right? They're not tons of money, they're a matter of pence rather than reuse these again. So I'm just going to bend them over. Right, so let's undo one of these. Just take these off gently first before we put the impact gun on. So I'll do these two here. There we go. Right, so let's get the gun on it. Well, okay, so we'll start on number 1. Now bolts out. This is a little bit tight. Let's try this one. That's tight also, and extremely tight as well. So maybe when we just turn it, they might pull it off. Let's move it around and do the next ones. So these are exactly the same. So just bend the tabs over again. Crack these ones off. That's that one. I think these have been done up extremely tight. These ones. What we want to do is make sure these go in the correct place. I can't quite let you see it at the minute, but I'll show you when you come out. These are all numbered. So you'll have 1, this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you'll have 1 on the top part, or the bottom part of the conrod, and a 1 on the actual sort of the shaft of it. And they have to go back together. All right, they're sort of married up. So there we go, so there's one off. There's plenty of white metal left on there, but there's some big scores in there. So like I say, somebody's been in here before and tried to do something in here. Then here's your journal where it sits. So what we can see is there's some big scores in there. It may be able to come out, but I'll have a look at the journals in a minute, of the bearings, to see the crankshaft's been taken down a bit. So we'll just push that up out of the way for a second. Let's see if we can do the next one. You don't have to hit them hard, it's just trying to break them away again. And we can see pretty similar to the last one. So what I'll do, I'll get all these out. Now pistons will come out through the top, so I'll just push them just up out of the way for a second. The piston is there, and we've got rings around there. Now these liners may come out as well, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to tap it from the other side and then take this piston all the way out. Out it comes. and there is our piston. Right, this is how not to do an engine. So here's the cap, the piston we now took out. To me that looks like a 2 in the light. Here's the cap that went with it, and it's actually stamped number 1. Alright, so this engine's been put together really badly. There you go. There comes another one. That's actually got number 1 on it, so number 2 is number 1. Here we are, all the pistons are out on the table, alright. So if I pick number 1 up, we can see that is severely scored, alright, really badly. And it says there's a number 4 on there. So this came out of number 1 bore and number 4. What I think somebody's done with this, when you've got your engine, number 1 cylinder is always the front of the engine. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think what somebody has done, they've gone the other way, putting it back. It's like 4, 3, and so on. So I don't know if you can see that on there. STD. So this is a standard size bearing, all right, which somebody's obviously put in there, which is quite lucky. So we might be able to save the crankshaft because it obviously hasn't been ground before. I can obviously give this to an engineering firm for them to grind it back down, re-measure it, and then give me the correct size shells to go on there. I wasn't expecting to see new pistons in there. So another thing we ought to check, there's a bush in there. There doesn't seem to be a lot of movement in the gudgeon pin or wrist pin, like some people call it. It's not too bad, but we're going to marry all these bits up so they're all back together again. Also, what I'm going to do is take these old shells out and just put them back together and just see if they aren't too worn and not too ovaled out. They're not a complete circle, they are slightly ovaled to one way, but like I say, it's bits and pieces we're going to learn along the way together looking at this engine, and hopefully it'll help you. But what I'm showing you here with the pistons on the deck or on this table is the same as what you would do on any tractor or vehicle that you're working on. You would check it. Most pistons come out the top, all right, unless you're working on a diesel Ferguson FE35 they're a lot harder. The pistons have to sort of feed them in from sort of the top and the bottom all at once, all in the liner, and then try getting all your pins in. They are a headache. That's pretty much where we're going to end today's video. So we've taken the timing chain off, rear crank seal, and we've taken the pistons out and found a few little mistakes along the way. All we've got now, here's our crankshaft, which is actually spinning quite nicely actually in there. But there was loads of scores in these journals, which I'm hoping will come out. Now, that's where we're going to end it for today, like I said, and then the next episode we'll remove the crankshaft and obviously the camshaft. All right, and then we're getting nearly to this block to be cleaned, get the parts serviced, and then we can start putting it back together. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. Any questions in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. I'll see you next time.